So, welcome to the School of Consciousness. This is the first session. And my intention for these weekly classes that are going to run every Wednesday at 7 a.m. are really to help you connect with a higher level of consciousness, to help you connect with a higher level of present awareness so that you can have a more direct line with Source. And really, I believe that when you have that direct line with Source, you have a direct line to your authentic self, your authentic intention for life. I believe that we all have that. We all have a specific intention for our lives. And as we move through life, we can get confused. We start to take on the ideas of society. We start to take on the ideas of our teachers and our parents and our peers. And all of these ideas get into our head and they can get noisy, busy, loud, and confusing. And so my intention for these sessions is to really help us quieten down the mind and connect in with Source. And that's going to allow us to live at a higher level of consciousness. So this is going to be your weekly download of higher consciousness. And I want to start today's session just by inviting you to close down your eyes and take a deep breath. And just stay here in the present moment. As we begin today's session, you can let go of all your attachments. You can let go of all your expectations. You can let go of all of your judgments. You can let go of anything that you are holding with a sense of inflated importance. Anything you feel like, oh, it's so important that I have that thing. It's so important that I be a confident person. It's so important that I figure out what I want to do with my life. It's so important that I earn a specific amount of money. Anything that you are holding importance towards, it's so important that I get something out of this session here today, that I connect with Source. Anything that you are holding inflated importance towards, realize that's just an attachment. And let it go. Give yourself permission to drop it in the same way that you would drop a tennis ball. Just let it go. Take a deep breath. I want you to come into an awareness that nothing is important. There is nothing more important than your peace of mind, your purity, your concentration. When you're able to stay concentrated, clear, pure, and transparent, you're able to stay empty. Everything that you think that you want will come. You'll become like a gravitational force that just pulls things in. Take another deep breath. And as you let go of the breath, let go of everything else. And just be here. See if you can get a glimpse of this stillness, of this nothingness, the emptiness. See if you can get a sense of your own conscious awareness without all of the dirt. Just that pure consciousness. If you notice your mind is quite busy for whatever reason this morning, I invite you to imagine that your thoughts are like clouds. So the busyness in your mind, the thoughts in your mind are just like clouds. And they just float past. You can watch them as they come, and then you can watch them as they go. And you don't need to hold on to them tightly. You don't need to make them mean anything. You can just let them float past. You can imagine, if you like, that you are the vast blue sky that observes or that holds those clouds. Your consciousness is this expansive sky that is able to hold all of the light and fluffy clouds and also all of the dark and stormy clouds. So what we're doing here is not trying to push any thought away, not trying to get rid of anything. We're not trying to actually limit ourselves to just positive thoughts or just negative thoughts, but we are actually connecting with a part of ourself that is able to hold all of it. So in a sense, we're really expanding our sense of self instead of limiting it. Take a deep breath in. And as you let go, stay here in the present awareness for just a few moments, just to get a glimpse of it. Maybe you see a slight opening. That's it. That's what we want to concentrate on. Staying with that, staying in that. That is your doorway to heaven. That is your doorway to God. That is your doorway to higher consciousness, to source, to the power that lies within you. It's through that tiny little gap that you may have had a glimpse of. You can take one more deep breath. Imagine this deep breath is opening up your entire body, breathing in light energy to all of the cells in your being. This light energy is penetrating any distortions, any uncomfortability in your body, and it's really opening you up. You can take a few breaths like this, expanding into this feeling of lightness and allowing that light to penetrate through any tension or stress or fear or doubt or worry that you're still holding on to. Illuminate all of that with your own conscious awareness. And then when you're ready, you can open up your eyes if you want, or you can stay with your eyes closed. It's totally up to you. I'm going to continue talking. So you can listen, and you can listen with your eyes closed, or you can listen with your eyes open, whatever you prefer. The point of this call today and what I'm trying to communicate is the fact that we all have access to this divine essence. We all have access to a higher level of consciousness. We all have access to God, direct access. You have direct access to that through your own awareness. And it's a small little gap. I've been reading the Bible recently and they talk about this. There's like a small doorway, but you can walk through that doorway, right? And I believe it is through a deep sense of present awareness. And so we want to start to really get a clear idea of what that feels like, what that looks like, what that experience is like. Because when we have that, when we have a glimpse of it, we have a connection to it, it really starts to open up the mind. It really starts to open up your imagination about what is possible for your life. When you're able to let go, take away the importance of anything that you are holding importance towards, whether that be internal, maybe you think that you really need to feel a certain way, or you're holding yourself in too much of a sense of importance, or something external, like attaining some kind of material need. When you have this inflated sense of importance about something outside yourself or inside yourself, it's where it creates just this tenseness and this suffering. It's like you're taking yourself or you're taking life so seriously when it's not meant to be that serious. It doesn't need to be that serious. And actually, when you are able to take away that like high level of importance which you're holding towards things, it becomes a lot more fluid. It becomes, you enter into a flow state when you are empty, when you are pure, when you are transparent. So you could even write down, if you've got your journal with you this morning, if you want to write down this, you could, you don't need to write it down, but you could, or else you could just ask yourself this question: what am I holding too much importance towards? And it could be something simple like social media, or it could be something like your business, or it could be something like a specific relationship, or it could be just an idea. Like it could even be the idea of letting go. You think it's so important to let go. And so it becomes very hard to let go. But the joke is, it's like just dropping a tennis ball. It's just like you just let it go. Your mind will come in and try to tell you that you need to have importance towards things, but your mind is tricking you. And this is the game. It's to get over yourself, to get over your mind, to get over your ego, to just shut it down for a little bit. It will come back, right? It will always be with you, right? It's not even that it will go anywhere, but you'll just be able to quieten it. You'll be entering into the control seat, right? And you'll be able to just like switch it on and off. Okay, when I need to use my mind, I switch it on. When I don't need to use my mind, I switch it off. Because you don't need to use your mind all the time. That's going to take a lot of energy, right? Sometimes you are actually allowed to switch off despite what society has told you. You don't need to use your mind all the time. You can actually just switch that off and trust, right? Trust in a higher level of consciousness, trust in a divine plan, trust in God, whatever you'd like to call it. You can switch off and just trust that. I know it's hard. I know it feels uncomfortable, but you can. And so that's really the purpose of these calls here. It's to help you just even switch off for half an hour, right? Don't try to think over even what I'm saying too much in these calls. If you can just be here with me and just connect with the intention behind the words, the resonance behind what I'm saying, you can connect with that. And if you can connect with that, you're going to get it, right? You're finally going to get it. The penny will drop. And if the penny drops, that's what we want, right? That's all I could ever ask for. As soon as that penny drops and you're able to quieten down your mind, you're able to get over yourself. You're able to start to develop trust and faith. You're able to really start believing that you can live an abundant, peaceful, loving, joyful life. All of these things that we want, they're available to us if we just let go of the things that hold us back, of this inflated sense of importance on certain things. So I'm going to actually give you guys a couple of mantras today as well. These are some mantras that I've gotten off one of my mentors, and I want to pass them on to you. I want to share them here. And some of you may have already heard these before, but I want to share regardless. Over the next week, before we jump on the next call, right? I'm going to run these every Wednesday. If you keep showing up every Wednesday, there's going to be free calls. There's going to be, little exercises and activities we can do between the calls. And for the next week, I'd like you to take on these two mantras, or at least experiment with them. Firstly, I don't want anything from anyone or anything. I don't want anything from anyone or anything. I don't want anything from anyone or anything. Now, if you don't necessarily believe that right now, if you're saying that to yourself and you're going, no, I do want things, then you can just pretend that you don't want things. And you can even say it in a kind of funny way where you have a little bit of attitude and a little bit of sass, and you're like, I don't even want anything from anyone or anything. Like, I don't even want anything from anyone or anything. And you can kind of add a little bit of extra emotion to it, a little bit of extra energy to it, and just play around with that. What does it mean to not want anything from anyone? What does it feel like to not want anything from anyone? That's great. Arnie, you got a question? You can just pop that in the chat box and I'll get to that shortly. That's the first one, right? The mantra. I don't want anything from anyone or anything. And say it to yourself multiple times a day throughout the next 7 days. and just see what happens. This is a really powerful mantra to help you get over yourself, to help you reduce the sense of importance of things. Whenever you feel yourself getting into this heightened state of like desiring something, I don't want anything from anyone or anything. Because you can feel it when you get into that heightened state of desiring things. It's like an elevated state, right? It puts you into a certain kind of like desperation. I don't want anything from anyone or anything. I don't even want it. Right. It's just an experiment to help you explore the energy of surrender. And the second mantra for you is I am as I am, perfectly clear and at ease within my own awareness. I am as I am, perfectly clear and at ease within my own awareness. And say these to yourself multiple times a day, throughout the day for the next 7 days. I don't want anything from anyone or anything. So if you're even if you're coaching with me, if you're watching this and you're already doing some work with me, and you've got goals, we've set goals, there's certain things that you are working towards. Let that be so. And also come into a state of non-desire for those things. I don't even really want it, right? I don't even really want anything from anyone. So you're going to be playing with the polarities here. Of course, you've got things you're working towards, but just let go of the importance of them. And in a funny way, they will just start coming a lot more easily. And start to just rest into your own awareness. Rest into your own present awareness. I am as I am, perfectly clear and at ease within my own awareness. And you'll see that you become like a magnet, like with a gravitational pull, almost like a planet or a sun, right? And it's kind of like you become a sun and things just gravitate towards you. Everything that you want just kind of starts coming. It's effortless. So those are the two mantras. I don't want anything from anyone or anything. And I am as I am, perfectly clear and at ease within my own awareness. I'm going to see what questions we've got here from Ani. The former, don't want anything from anyone, is great, for it is good to stop having expectations from anyone. But the latter, want anything from anything. If I am broke, have debts to pay, isn't it just normal to work towards alleviating my financial situation? Yeah, of course. And you will do that. Like you will do that, right? I'm not telling you to not go about your day, and I'm not telling you to not work and to not earn money. I'm not saying to do that. I'm just saying release the importance of it. I don't want anything from anyone or anything, because it's not like I'm just throwing my hands in the air and going, fuck it. I don't want it. Like I'm done. It's more of just like a handing it over, right? Like a trusting in God or in the divine. That's the point. It's not like I'm giving up. This is a hopeless endeavor for me, and I don't care what happens. It's not exactly like that. It's a slightly different energy. It's more of like a handing it over, trust. I don't want anything from anyone or anything. I'm perfectly clear and at ease within my own present awareness. There's a difference. There's a slight difference there, right? And that's something to be mindful of. So great question. I appreciate that, Annie. Hopefully that clears that up for you a little bit. If it doesn't, you can let me know in the chat box. But that's really it for today. These sessions are going to be short. They're going to be sharp. If you've read the description of the sessions, I said we're going to dive into teachings to accelerate your healing and awakening. I'm going to give clear instructions for connecting to higher consciousness. And we'll be going through simple guided meditation practices to help you quieten down the mind. So that's what we're going to be doing over the next however long. I'm not sure how long this is going to go for. This could be a big project that starts to unfold. It's been something that's been in my awareness for a few months now, maybe even like 6 months to a year. I've had this school of consciousness idea bubbling in my head. And so I'm excited to bring it to you guys today. I'm excited to run this first session. I'm very grateful for you being here. We will finish today's session with a meditation. And if there are any other questions, you can always write me in email and we can address them each week. So for example, if I was to get a number of questions throughout the week before the next session, then I could create a Q&A session at the end of each call where I dive into those questions. So if you do have any questions, obviously send them over to me, pop them in the chat box like Arnie's done. And yeah, we can dive into it. So let's finish with another meditation. When you're ready, you can close down your eyes. And for this meditation, I invite you just to get very comfortable in your own body. Before we do anything, straighten up your spine, take your shoulders up and roll them back. Take a deep breath, opening up your diaphragm, opening up your chest as you breathe in, big inhale. And relaxing any tension in the body as you exhale. Now just allow your mind to process anything that it needs to process from what we have just spoken about. I like to imagine that my mind is like a mental filing cabinet. And if I sit in meditation, it just automatically, without me even really needing to do anything, starts to file the thoughts away into their respective places of my mind. So just trust that your mind is doing that right now as we sit here in stillness, as you continue to find your natural rhythm of breathing. See if you can loosen the grip and just allow your mind to do what it needs to do with this space that we're giving it. There's no right or wrong way to meditate. It is simply a practice or a discipline or a devotion to being aware. You can be aware of your thoughts. You can be aware of your breath. You can be aware of my voice. You can be aware of your body. You can be aware of the simple fact that you exist. Remember to let go of your attachments, let go of your expectations, let go of your judgments. You really don't need them. And if you find the letting go challenging or difficult, instead, you can try to just accept things as they are. If you're finding it frustrating to let go, then just give yourself that grace. Accept yourself in that. If you're noticing that you are judging people or judging yourself, see if you can just accept yourself. Even accept the fact that you are judging yourself. Just let that be okay. If you have expectations from yourself or from others that aren't being met, I wonder if you can let that be okay as well. I wonder if you can accept that. The first step is to know yourself, to discover yourself. The second step is to accept yourself. Accept your unique self just as you are. If you can do that, you can accept yourself. You'll be able to accept the world. If you can just be okay with yourself, you'll be okay in the world. Let's take a big deep breath in together. And release. One more big group breath in, harmonizing our energy and letting go. And you can take one more breath in your own time. And before we open up our eyes, just scan through your body, see if you're holding any tension around your eyes, your jaw, your shoulders, the back of your neck, your belly, and just bring some softness to all of these parts of yourself. Give yourself permission to soften so you can start your day from this beautiful, peaceful, tranquil, pure state. Feel it in your body. Feel your energy. Feel the cells vibrating. It's very subtle. Although if you concentrate, you can find it. And when you do find it, just stay with it for as long as you can, even if it's just 2 seconds. 2 seconds is better than no seconds. When you're ready, you can start to move your fingers and your toes. And then open up your eyes. All right. That's it for today. Thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your attention, your concentration, and I'll see you next week.